Hello
project. There. Oh, sorry.
Would you fuck off? Hello there, everybody. I'm Ross Pitt, Shark Hunter. Here with me, as always, today is Wizzy Puff.
Wizzy Puff has an owie.
He's beautiful.
Not what you were just saying a second ago.
Yeah, you're ugly. Anyways.
That's what your mom said.
Welcome to Ross and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour. I'm sick of Wizzy's shit, so I am taking him through the magical land of My Little Pony fanfiction. We all got that? Good. Wizzy, you know I've just realized something about myself.
You're gay.
No, I can't stand babies crying.
Does this have anything to do with the fanfic?
No. I just wanted to tell you.
Okay.
This is just sort of a beginner before, we get into it.
I'm pretty sure that and dogs barking is like the most universally hated sounds.
Yeah, but it's not that I think it's annoying or anything.
It breaks your heart.
Yeah. I hate hearing it. It's awful. The poor babies. I once watched a ghost video that involved a baby crying, and I could not finish it. It hurt me.
Yeah.
On an emotional level.
I think what you're experiencing is called empathy.
No, it's not that.
Oh, that's right. You don't have any of that.
You have any cool facts
for
us?
If you eat the heart of a polar bear, you can die from a vitamin A overdose.
So I'm really excited today. Because we're reading a fan fiction from one of my absolute favorite writers on this site. We have read one together before, but never on the podcast. And actually, fun fact, a story from this author is basically what inspired this podcast. For today we're reading The Ever Ash Project by Short Skirts and Explosions. I have no idea what gender Short Skirts and Explosions is. If they even have a gender, who knows?
I'm just going to throw it out there. Female and attracted to females.
You know what? I'm going to guess male and asexual.
Ooh.
I got your ass.
Are you Short Skirts and Explosions?
Mayhaps I am. Ooh, no. Anyways, please go read this before you listen to this. Because if you listen to us, you'll probably not be able to follow along pretty well.
Yeah.
I could have worded that one better. Oh well. I'm still handsome.
At least I still have my good looks.
Oh, Wizzy, I hate to tell you.
Ross, before you say anything, I was paraphrasing you in a funnier way.
I see. But also, shut up, Wizzy.
All right, fine. I guess this is just going to be the Ross podcast.
Okay, I guess so. All right, so this... Wizzy, I need you, man.
It's about time.
All right, so we're gonna read this. I think that was enough of a cold open. Or not a cold open. Just an opening. 4 minutes of it, actually. Fun fact. Chapter Ashes and Diamonds. Foe and Friend. A breath. Another breath. I'm not supposed to be alive. And yet, a sliver of moonlight bleeds through the refuse. It is uncharacteristically bright. A persistent, pulsing blue. And that's how I know. I don't want to move, but I have to. There's a mountain of dead weight on top of me. I push against it, struggling and fussing with all four hooves. I was going to say fur hooves. Their hooves do look furry.
They do.
Limp limbs slide down either side of my wriggling body. Wriggling.
Huh. I've heard the phrase limp limbs, and I've never actually read it, but reading it looks really weird.
It looks spooky.
It's just like you got that upside down B, and at the very end, you follow along.
Nope. Anyways, slabs of armor rattle, both golden and dark. Glossy skin shines between each blink. Coats, crystal. I don't know which bodies belong to my side or theirs. Rotting flesh smells all the same. At last, with a grunt, I thrust forward. The layers of bodies and bucklers split apart. I emerge, catching my first breath of fresh air in hours. I look around. Gone is the snow that once blanketed this valley. There is a perfectly round circle of melted frost, exposing the arid stone beneath sheets upon sheets of dead soldiers. The slick ground glints with ethereal blue light between scattered staves, swords, and lances. In the center of a circle is a charred splotch of darkened earth, still brimming with magic. Tilting my head up to the sky, I have to squint. The moon is so bright, and the mare and the moon is back. She did it. It is hardly a cry of exhilaration. There is still twilight beyond the glow. It won't be long
Twilight.
now. Sparkle.
That's a pony.
Probably dead. Currently.
No. Actually, I'm okay with that.
Wow. You suck, dude.
Excuse me, but I don't believe you're too big of a fan of Twilight either.
I'm okay with her.
Doesn't mean I'm not. It's just like, you don't really care about people dying every day. Like, you don't know them.
That's true.
I don't know Twilight.
It won't be long now. Hours? Minutes? She actually did it. The mare in the moon stares back at me. At all of us. Bodies upon bodies, flesh and crystalline, all fallen before her gaze. She does not cry. She doesn't even blink. A dull shudder rolls through my body. My nostrils are too full of death to register anything but nausea. There are many places I've imagined myself being for this. I'd rather it not be here. Not any longer. The first thing I do is rummage through the wreckage beside me. I fish through the remnants of the war wagon that carried me here. All I find are corpses, some of them bearing muzzles of ponies I almost knew the names of, with manes bearing colors I could almost count. I've spent the last few months of this campaign with my head hung low. Now, with so much death, I don't regret my choices one bit. I only regret not making them sooner. There are names, too many names that belong to all these bodies, names that I've been forced to document, personally and officially. Man, this is just a drag.
Yep.
This guy's kind of depressing. At last, turning over a mana-singed chunk of torso, I find what I'm looking for. It's a vial, cylindrical and glass. It's filled with a bright purple powder inside, like an hourglass. I'm amazed the thing is still in one piece after being yanked from my body countless hours ago. I feel a twitch in my heart while gazing at it. Perhaps it's the last thing I'll ever feel. With a silk thread, I hang the item around my neck. I pick up a spear and lean against it, which is a good thing. I feel a stiffness in my rear right fetlock. No doubt a fractured hoof. Walking won't be easy, even with this makeshift cane.
Fetlock? Is that like a pony body part?
Fetlock. Let's see. Google search. Yes, it is. Fetlock is the common name in horses, large animals, and sometimes dogs for the metacarpal phalangeal and oh, good lord, joints.
Oh. Okay, so it's like the toe joints,
Yeah, basically.
I guess.
No doubt a fractured hoof. Walking won't be easy, even with this makeshift cane. But where do I have to go? Where do we all have to go? The moon is already ablaze. Everywhere I look, bodies stretch across dead stone and into the snow beyond. A fresh sheet of wintry blight hangs loosely overhead, dotting the charred rock with a new layer of frost. I have to go. So I pick a direction, and I trot towards it, limping, leaning on the spear for support. I pass chunks of stone rising up out of the earth in jagged obelisks. Either Sombra was here, or one of his high commanding officers. For all I know, maybe he died in the last battle. Wouldn't that be ironic? Only after...
Why would that be ironic?
Because, well, you know what? We don't know the full story.
Yeah, we don't. Or I don't, and you do.
I don't. Honestly, I
Okay.
just know that this takes place in an alternate universe where Sombra was badass and totally killed a lot of ponies.
Was he not already badass in the real show?
Oh, he was to me. And not to a lot of other people. But, you know, to me he was. But anyways, I mean, this actually does take place in the show, but just in an alternate universe that we explore inside the show.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, only after an hour of labored walking burns by do I realize just how widespread the battle was. I see the remnants of bodies and blades being scattered in a wide arc just south of where I trot. Did the battle pass over me? It was dusk when the first catapulted crystals landed. I can still hear the shrieks of soldiers as the enchanted shards ripped their legs out from under them. I did nothing to help them. Of course I did nothing. You can't be a coward if you're given nothing to be heroic with. Another hour passes. The moon is ever bright overhead. The mare in the moon appears darker somehow, as if she's gathering steam, a horribly dark smog that will somehow, hopefully, wipe out all the sins that it took to get us this far, and all the regrets that it will take to carry us even further, to carry them. A third hour. Each trot sends a ripple through my body. I feel like laughing, scoffing at each step I'm afforded to take. Each thought I'm blessed with to contemplate the matter. Why am I even walking to begin with? Perhaps I'm searching for something. Even if I know there's nothing to find, isn't that what makes us special?
Of course you'd be walking. What else do you have to do?
Yeah, good point. That's when I see it, rising over the rocks and boulders that make up the nearest horizon. It's a town, or at least a tiny half-flanked excuse for one. A threadbare trickle of a dirt road runs through the... Shut up.
I like the your way.
A threadbare trickle of a dirt road runs through the outpost. Two tiny shacks rest parallel to a military supply station and two-story saloon. Hanging from a crooked pole at the southeast corner of the roadside junction is a remarkably bright banner featuring the royal solar crest. That's how I know it's still our land. I can't imagine the supply stallion... I can't imagine the supply station holds much. I'm going insane over here.
You've got all too much pony in your mind to be thinking about actual words.
Yeah, man. Our brigade likely stripped the armory of supplies for the final push downhill. The closer I approach the saloon, I see a light shines from the bottom floor. There's life here, something that eats, breathes, and most likely sighs. A lot like me. And just like that, I'm thirsty. Me too. Bottoms up.
Let's all get a drink with, I don't know who this pony is yet.
Neither do I. OC? Probably OC.
That's what I would assume. Or maybe it's alternate reality Trixie.
I'm gonna call him Manic Desires. And just like that, I'm thirsty. It's a good enough excuse. On limping hooves, I approach the front steps of the saloon. I push my way through the door, entering the musky domain. Even this late at night, with the wickedly bright moonlight pouring in.
Actually, I really want a bar called the Musky Domain.
Yeah.
It's got a nice ring to it. It makes it feel like the Old West.
Wizzy, we should open a bar.
We should.
Yeah.
We can serve pony drinks there. You know, like a real man's bar, you know? We can reintroduce Starbucks' unicorn latte.
That was a thing?
Yeah, it was
As
like
if I would
popular
know.
for a while because it looked amazing, but it tasted like garbage.
Just like everything at McDonald's. Anyways,
Ooh!
even this late at night, with the wickedly bright moonlight pouring in through dusty windows, there are patrons sitting in random chairs. They're stallions, or at least most of them are, aged, weathered, too old for joining the war effort and too miserable to do anything but drink over it. They see me, my fatigues, the staff I'm using to limp on. They don't even move. Maybe they think I'm a deserter. For all intents and purposes, I am one. But what's to desert? I sit down in a slump, gazing into the dim yellow glow of a kerosene lamp. It almost drowns out the blue haze of the full moon outside, but not quite. A cold shudder pierces my shoulders, constantly. The entire lonesome trek. I was strong enough to trot straight. Now I'm overcome with shivers. More than anything, it frustrates me. I can think of a million better ways to go. And that's when she trots in from around the front bar. And I don't have to think of anything anymore.
Bright night for a stroll,
She says. The first words out of her muzzle didn't involve questioning me about my unit. For that, I instantly adored her.
What'll it be, ma'am?
I'm surprised at how steady my voice is. Have I stopped shivering? Do you have any apple cider? Oh, is this Rainbow Dash?
Is this going to be a Apple Dash fanfic?
I don't think so. In fact, I'm going to place like $30 that it's not.
I will be betting no money.
Good. As you shouldn't, because you'd lose.
Ross,
Yeah, buddy.
I
what's
like Apple Dash, and if the main character is Rainbow Dash, I feel like this next character could be Applejack.
Yeah, I'm doubtful.
Fine. Just doubt me, like you always do.
Just because apple cider doesn't mean Applejack. She hums. I can tell it's bittersweet amusement.
Only if you don't mind squeezing it out of the can.
That'll do, donkey.
E.
I hum back. 2 tall glasses, please.
You expecting someone?
She asks. No, I lie.
Ooh.
She leaves with a shrug. I catch a soft pink flicker in my peripheral, and then it's back to blue moonlight and shivers. When she comes back, there are 2 tall glasses of barely brown liquid floating in front of her. She sets them down onto the varnished tabletop, with breath befitting a song.
4 bits, please.
I gave her 5. Wink. The golden coins rattled melodically. I think about how I will miss music.
Thanks.
She says, beating me to it. For all I know, that's that. Her face dissolves into shadow. Sombra! And I'm alone with 2 glasses. I don't drink. I sit here, dry, for minutes on end. Or maybe it's an hour.
But you said you were thirsty. Why aren't you taking a friggin' drink?
Yeah, that's weird. I'm just becoming a yes man to everyone. I think about how I'm still breathing. Each breath brings with it a new memory. Not a new memory, a memory. Each memory brings with it a fresh tumorous addition to the lump forming in my throat. Cider, even factory processed stuff, would relieve my parched mouth, which is precisely why I don't indulge in it. I want to feel every ounce of this. I want to carry it with me wherever I'm going. To that, the weight of it might make an impression, an imprint, a sign that I was once here, for better or for worse. But I know better. I know. And before I realize it, the saloon around me has emptied. The stallions have all shuffled upstairs to their rooms, separated by continents of wasted years and opportunities. They shadow Sombra over me, loom above me.
Every time it says shadow.
Yeah. Enveloping and submerging, until all that keeps me afloat is the sheen of moonlight on my back and the glare of a kerosene lamp, fading, growing dimmer and dimmer in my eyes. Eventually, the barkeeper returns, if only to pretend to fuel the lamp some more. It is only now that I see the shiny indigo of her eyes, the highlights in her hair, like fireworks. I remember foalhood, and it hurts. Her voice, squeaky and clean, is even more torturous. She's seen nothing of war, only smelled its second-hand hell.
Are you feeling quite all right, miss?
I think about being honest, and then I think about the mare and the moon.
Is that supposed to be Luna?
Yeah. I don't know if it's Luna here, but it was Luna.
Okay.
For now, I say, and indeed it is enough. For now.
Then perhaps you wouldn't mind me asking.
Could you fucking leave?
Oh, you were actually asking me. Oh, okay. I'll get out. I'll get out of your hair.
No, yeah, okay. All right, leave me. Leave me. Goodbye. Fine. Let. Go. Get out of here. And it's here that I come to a realization. As she stands on the opposite side of the table from me, her ocean eyes imploring that this is how everything ends. I'm orbiting fairy light with a stranger, and there's no climbing back out.
Are you with that army that just marched by?
I inhaled. Maybe. I exhale. It's enough for her to persist.
Are you a soldier?
I shake my head. No. Another breath. More like a clerk.
A record keeper.
I suppose you could say that, I remark. I keep things organized, so definitely not, Rimbadesh. Or at least, I used to. She hears me, and yet she doesn't. Next, she probes a little bit deeper.
I guess you were chosen because you were very observant.
What? I only nod.
Then, maybe you'd be able to tell me if you saw.
She gulps. She points outside. Now she shares the shivers with me.
If you saw the moon change just now?
I shouldn't indulge her. There's no need to indulge her. Then again, there's nothing left to protect. They've done it. She's done it. And there's no going back now.
It's back to the way it was 2 years ago.
She continues.
For the last 12 hours, I've heard stallions left and right give one possible explanation after another. That maybe Princess Luna is considering a new aerial offensive against Sombra. After all, it's been
Did you
not
just call
for...
him Sombra?
I play Overwatch.
Is it not Sombra there?
No, it's Sombra.
Huh,
it's how you'd pronounce it in Mexicano.
Well, guess what?
Sombra.
This isn't Mexicano.
Well, everyone calls it Sombra in Overwatch.
Well, too bad. This is my little fucking pony. Motherfucker.
No, it's my pony!
No, it's my pony.
A new aerial offensive against Sombra. After all, it's been night for, well, weeks now. So naturally, everyone thinks the royal sisters and their armies are up to something.
Her lips curve, crookedly. A desperate pull for levity.
Old war stallions, am I right?
They are. She is. We were wrong. But she needn't learn it that way. She needn't learn anything at all. Needn't is a weird word to say.
Yeah.
But I know that. If I was her, I would want to know. As I already do know. There's a comfort to this, an ease in embracing finality with finality. There's a lot of, saying the same thing twice. And, that's clearly an aesthetic and stuff. Or
Yeah.
a choice, but, I find it weird. And it
I
was,
guess it gives you a certain feel.
yeah. But the flesh is weak. The lump in my throat finally falls. I plummet with it, sinking, dragging myself through the veil of all yesterday's sighs, until I'm somewhere else. Another place and time. You know, I never thought I'd be dragged into this stupid war, I say. She leans back as if stunned to hear from another thing with a brain.
Why, whatever makes you say that?
To hear that. Sorry, I missed to hear that.
Oh.
I only just read to hear from. That was my mistake. My brother. It's Twilight. It's almost definitely Twilight.
Oh.
Smart, like, organized, brother.
Oh, yeah.
My brother, I say, his last words trying to comfort me, to console me, while his muzzle was still stained with the blood of his best friends. My nostrils flare as I reach into my vest and pull loose the glass vial. I turn it around, watching as the tiny purple fragments shift and settle. You know, if things had gone differently, I wouldn't have followed in his hoofsteps at all. Not to spite him. It's just that I had a far different calling. A scholarly, scientific calling.
What happened?
What else? I sigh, and I slip the glass back into my vest. I failed. And now I find myself here instead of... I tilt my head to the right. Blue moonlight pulses, illuminating the world outside in haunting, pale blinks. Yes, well, I look forward once more. If I had joined the Canterlot Science Bureau, I would have found better solutions for sure. Peaceful solutions. She squints at me.
Peaceful solutions to what?
The war? What else? I exhale. But I suppose even that would have been too optimistic. What would Equestria have done with my intellect? The only thing that solves war is more war. That's what Celestia's chosen scientists discovered. The ones who came up with the solution we needed, not that we desired.
I don't understand.
And pray you don't have to. Oh! It's not what she says. Now she's sitting down. Her lips are pursed, she's drawn in, and there's no letting go.
Bow, chicka, wow. Sorry, but you said it seductively. How could we not desire and enter this war with Sombra?
I shake my head. You can't be blamed.
For what?
Ignorance, I say.
Ooh.
It's only bliss for those whom Celestia chooses. Or, perhaps, for the ones she and Luna haven't. I look firmly at her. We haven't been winning this war. We haven't even come close. Sombra's magic, his dark magic, permeates all of Equestria. It's dug deep into the roots of the Harmony tree. It's actually the Tree of Harmony, but whatever. Infested the Everfree forest. Turned all Dragon Mountains into crystalline stairs. Soon, the corruption will convert all the eggs in those draconian roosts. And once the winged beasts take to the midnight sky, there will be no force that can outmatch them. Sombra would have won this war without contest.
I didn't know it was that bad.
She stammers.
But, miss, what do you mean by he would have won this war if his dark magic had corrupted all of Equestria, then?
That's where Celestia comes in, I say. She and her sister, Luna, have had to deal with an unfathomable choice. Do they continue to fight an endless battle against a superior foe? Or do they accept the fact that this land of ours, Equestria, is lost, and that the only way to preserve what we have is to do away with what we used to have, in hopes of rebuilding anew?
But how is that even possible?
Through the Everash Project. Roll credits, I say.
I never heard of that.
And you were never meant to hear of it. Just as I was never meant to speak of it. I gulp. But now it makes no difference.
Why is that?
The Everash Project was something dreamed up by Celestia's most gifted scientist, Sunset Shimmer. Woo! Sunset! Yeah! Sunset's awesome.
Yeah.
As the war effort grew more and more intense, the top scientists were charged with coming up with a way to weaponize the elements of harmony. It was Sunset Shimmer who discovered that if they found a way to harness the energy of a sonic rainbow, then they could use it to essentially carpet bomb a given landscape, eliminating any and all threats in the targeted vicinity.
But how is that even possible?
She asks.
The sonic rainboom is just an old mare's tale.
And it was, I say, nodding, until one of the top-ranking Wonderbolts performed it out of thin air while avenging her fallen commander. Sunset ordered her to report to Canterlot headquarters so they could perform experiments on the phenomenon. In doing so, they uncovered the essence of the rainboom.
It actually said in so doing.
You're right. I should go cast myself off a bridge.
Okay. Maybe a small bridge.
Well, I wasn't going to go for a big one. In so doing, they uncovered the essence of the rainboom, then worked on a way to magnify its area of effect.
It's powered by harmonic energies?
In essence, yes. But on the surface, it has the potential for far-reaching physical effects. I exhale. Damaging effects. For a field test, a rainboom spell was implemented on the crystal-wrought ruins of Appaloosa. After the resulting explosion, nothing was left, living or inert. When the Pegasus scouts returned to Ground Zero to investigate, all they saw was ashen wastes for miles and miles on end.
You but that.
Really? You couldn't be bothered to maybe pause a bit there?
But that...
The barkeeper grimaced, shaking her pink head. Is it Pinky?
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's Pinky. It was King Sombra who destroyed Appaloosa. Every pony knows that.
Classic Pinkie Pie voice.
I'm not switching my voice, Ross. Don't try and make me.
I wouldn't ever. The gods demand it to be this way. I simply stare at her. She gulps.
It was a lie.
She grimaces.
Celestia lied to us? But why? Oh, she's rhyming now. She got bars.
To protect the most important lie of all, I say. A lie of omission. Her ears fold.
The Everash Project.
I nod. I was assigned to Luna's royal detachment. With 3 armies as our escort, we made our way for Dream Valley. I added the our way. I don't know why I did. I just thought it sounded natural, I guess. Just southeast of here. It was there that we would perform the first leg of this war's final engagement. Just as expected, Sombra's forces intervened. We fought them bravely, buying time for both Luna and Celestia.
Time for them to do what?
Kill us all.
Oh.
Princess Luna would use...
Hold on.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Were they saying that Celestia destroyed Appaloosa with this Everash project?
Did they mention Appaloosa? Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe, I guess.
It was
Yeah,
like,
it sounds like it.
Sombra who did it. Everyone knows that. And then it was like, nope.
Yeah, look at that.
So,
Guess
screw
I wasn't paying much
Celestia.
attention. Whoa. It was just as much as Luna's fault. I'm just saying.
And screw Luna.
Thank you. I prefer equal opportunity princesses here. Princess Luna would use the elements of harmony to banish herself to the moon. In the meantime, Princess Celestia would fly towards Canterlot Mountain, the highest point in all of Equestria, where she would execute the Sonic Rainboom. Oh, yeah! Spell. A spell with 100 times the magnitude of the energy released at Appaloosa.
But from the sound of it...
She bites her bottom lip. She tries to avoid my gaze. She fails.
A blast like that would...
Destroy all of Equestria, I say, as well as every last remaining bit of Sombra. My eyes narrow. A world without an enemy is a world without war.
But what point is there if there's nothing left living?
That's where Princess Luna comes in, I say. You remember how I mentioned that she would banish herself to the moon with the elements of harmony? The barkeeper nods. Well, she's done just that. I point limply at the blue light out the window. Out there's your proof. She stares at the window, muzzle agape. And she's not alone. I shake my head. Gone with her, protected by Luna's magic, are a chosen group of ponies, griffins, mules, horses, and even diamond dogs. Okay, so diamond dogs are like these dogs, these anthropomorphic dog dudes that are like obsessed with diamonds, right?
Yeah.
We only see them in one episode. Anyways, I twirl my cider glass around, shrugging. There really wasn't any time to pick or choose. Luna grabbed as many ponies and animals as the spell could handle. A chosen elite. Is this Noah's Ark? I mean, it fits.
A chosen elite few animals are on Noah's Ark, apparently.
A chosen elite of the best and most diverse this landscape has to offer. Together, they'll repopulate the lost city inside the moon. What the fuck? Ponymonium. And dwell there for 1,000 years. I gulp. And then, once the spell is ended, the stars will aid in their escape. Hey, that's what she says in the first episode. Oh my gosh.
Is it?
Yeah. The stars will aid in their escape and bring about everlasting night. Or nighttime eternal. I think she says both. I could be wrong, though. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay. They'll return to Equestria. What's left of the ashes. That's it. And rebuild a world free from Sombra. And hopefully, free from war and strife. The mare shakes. She stammers.
And just what did it take to become one of these chosen few?
I'll give you a hint. I take the first and last sip of delicious cider. Appropriately bitter. It's not us. She freezes in place. The blue light cascades over her like a shroud. I would expect no less. Same with the next few words limping out of her muzzle.
Aunt Celestia?
A swallow.
Nope. How long until she...
Any time now, I breathe. I'm actually surprised the explosion hasn't gone off. Hasn't gone off yet. Another sip of cider. But then again, it does take a while for artificial rain booms to be conjured. And considering the scale, I suppose that would explain why this place is still here. As for me, well, no mortal outside the protective barrier of Princess Luna's banishment spell is expected to survive its execution. Same thing goes with the whole unit that escorted her. It was considered to be an act of mercy for our partaking so heavily in the confidential protection of the Ever Ash Project and the future denizens of Ponymonium. I guess I'm just unlucky to be this lucky. So I came here to have a drink, and I am. So, thank you. Another sip. I don't taste much this time. In the meantime, you have no obligation to thank me. She doesn't. She doesn't say anything. All right, bitch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Instead, with unabashed selfishness, the barkeep grabs another glass of cider on the table. She chugs it down, drinking all of the lukewarm, juicy content in 3 gulps. Maybe
You had
4.
to say juicy like that?
I did. When all is said and done, she gets it. I can tell from the way her face melts, how she tries to sustain it by resting her pink cheeks against the leftover coolness of the moist glass. She sniffles once, twice. She knows, as I know. And once the realization has set in, her voice shakes from a chuckle, more so than from a sob.
You know...
She gulps, then continues.
There was a time when I was angry at how unfair everything was. I spent years and years studying magic,
So,
trying to
not Pinkie Pie.
trying to understand how we all fit into the grand scheme of things. And just when I thought I had it all figured out, this stupid war began. And I had to move away from home. There was no family left, no friends to share my sob stories with. So I settled upon life here, out in the middle of nowhere. It was far enough away from the fighting that I wouldn't have to be afraid for my life. And yet it was close enough to the front that I could learn so many incredible, awe-inspiring things from military opponents like you. But now, having learned what I've learned, with the mare and the moon back to throw us all into shadow, I realize that I'm back to where it all started, back to the unfairness, only now it all makes sense. It's like it was never meant to be, you know?
Her eyes open. They are moist, but solid. She's too lucid to cry.
Everything about this is wrong. It was always wrong. And now you're telling me that everything's gonna be wiped off the map?
Her nostrils flare.
I don't know about you, and it sounds like an improvement to me. A brand new start. A reboot. So what if I die?
A tear runs down her face. But that's all she's going to give this moment.
You would have to live to die first. Have you ever felt that way? Like you've only ever been half alive?
She gulps again.
There's a lot of gulping in this one. That you had your chance and something happened. Something strange happened, and everything that's taken place since then has been wrong. It's all been too crazy, too wild, and too fantastical to be the lives we were meant to live. Don't you feel the same?
Maybe it's Starlight. Or maybe it's a OC.
That's what I felt like after we talked about magic.
Yeah. Magic, pink. I see something in the glint of her eyes. A spark that I once had. It trailed away from me for years. Dancing, taunting, lingering around the corner of every shadow. Sombra.
Again.
One day, I thought I had discovered it. Sombra's artillery had found its way into the bastions of Cannerla Castle. It was among...
Bastion and Sombra.
Oh, yeah. It was among the first volunteers sent to clean up the wreckage. Between the limbs and rubble cast all around, I stumbled upon the remnants of Celestia's school for gifted unicorns. There was something there in the roost wing, something that I had once obsessed with as a foal. It had shattered to pieces, an opportunity wasted, a failure in fragments. When I held them in my hooves, I felt something stir within me, and I sobbed. That's what a sob sounds like.
Nice.
I sobbed as if for a friend I never had. An empty space that had always followed close behind me, much like my brother's shadow when he died. Sombra. Only smaller, more precious, indefinable. That was the last time I ever remembered crying over anything. Ever since, I thought I had it easy. But I know better. I feel the same fragments dangling in the vial around my neck. It defines nothing, and yet it defines me.
So does it define nothing, or does it define you?
Well, that is the oxymoron, isn't it? I don't feel, I say. Or at least, I've forgotten how to. She sniffles. She looks up at me.
What is your name?
I look up at her. Sergeant Sparkle. Twilight Sparkle.
You were right.
Well, duh, that one was obvious. A twitch, an instinct. Might I ask yours? She smiles into the blueness.
2 for 2. Starlight Glimmer.
Yeah, 2 for 2. Unfortunately, whoopsie. We originally thought it might be Pinky.
Okay,
so really,
originally I thought it was
1.5
Applejack,
for 2.
and I thought the other was Rainbow.
Well, shit. Guess we've all just fucked up. Fucked up.
But before it revealed the names, we got them right.
That's true. And really, that's all that matters. We don't even need to read the rest of the story. And next comes the heaviest breath of all.
I might not know you, miss. sparkle. And I might not agree with what you and the Royal Sisters armies have done. And yet, right now, more than anything in the world, I would be proud to consider you my friend.
Cheers. She smiles harder. It's the very edge of a grimace, which is what makes it real.
If only for the sake of a choice I can make and be happy with.
I look at her. Maybe I don't feel. Maybe I don't want to. But for once, after months, years of working my way towards oblivion, I need to stop being selfish. I stand up, trot around the table, and hug her. I hold her. And she holds me. And there's a shudder between us. Something like a heartbeat. And her words bleed in between.
You should have gone for the head. Is it right, though?
She squeaks. I feel every shiver through her forelimbs. I hold her tighter, protecting her. Maybe I'm a soldier after all.
Is it right for us to greet it like this? Well, so many other ponies won't even know.
I nuzzle her close. It's too late for it to be wrong. She doesn't argue with this, even as the blue melts away, and 7 hellish shades roast their way through the windows like a billion light bulbs.
It's me.
I don't know. I'm going to say yes.
I don't know why I was so angry.
There are tears, or there once were. They gasp between us, along with her smiling face, a pale photograph.
We're all equal in the end.
Now that's a curious thing to say. I try to think of a reply.
But you can't, 'cause you're dead, Twilight.
Then that scene from Watchmen happens.
Aw, man, I don't even remember that movie.
Ah, okay. Well, I was actually thinking of the comic, even though I do like the movie.
Well, when you say scene, I think of a movie.
Well, that's fair. Suppose panel, page might work better. Yeah. So yeah, that was the Everash project. Depressing.
Whole situation there kind of reminds me of this one Flash game called I think it's called like Hug Me, I'm Cold. It was on Newgrounds a while ago. Anyway, it's a nice little story that I would recommend playing.
Oh yeah?
Just wanted to get that in there.
Maybe I would. I liked it.
Oh yeah. I really like that type of situation in a story.
Yeah. Dude, imagine if I just came up to you 3 minutes before we die and say, hey man, we're all gonna die in like 3 minutes or something.
I'd be like, good.
Wow, you're a pessimist, aren't you?
Well, you see, realistically, I'd probably say something like that because I would not believe you.
Oh, I see. But what if it was during like a super bad war, you know?
Yeah, I'd probably believe you.
Yeah, wouldn't that suck? I probably wouldn't even tell you before it happens. I feel too bad. Sorry, man, that just sounds depressing.
But I would do so many crazy things if the world was about to end.
Would you hug me? Would you give old Uncle Ross a great big
Depends
hug?
how much time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Man. But yeah, Short Skirts and Explosions is amazing. Love their work.
Yeah, good writer.
Yeah. One of the best on Fimfiction. Again, go check this story out if you haven't. Give it a like, please. Please?
Please?
Come on, guys.
For me?
It's super easy, man. And it is a really good story. So, you know. Just saying, if you haven't already.
And I think that wraps everything up.
Fine, I guess it does. Jeez Louise.
It does.
All right, fine. Yeah. I'm going to end on a saying. Those who wear shorts in the bathroom deserve to get exploded. William Shakespeare wrote that passage.
Passage? Like he wrote something in the Bible?
Yeah.
Oh, it is getting left in, though.
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't it?
Because it's dumb.
It was a smooth breeze today, my friend.
Bye,
Good night,
everyone.
everybody. Hey. Back off, punk. I get the last say in this. Good night.